it's common, but I did this intro. Okay, so hi, this is my video on the Inside Out Project for a separate piece. The character I will be analyzing today is Gene, and just kind of how he acts throughout the book. Okay, so for starters, 5 words that would describe outer Gene would just be standard, gullible, independent, nonchalant, and just normal. He's not special in any way, you know, he's just the standard 1950s schoolboy. Just likes sports, very good at school. He's normal, there's nothing interesting about him. But on the contrary, inner Gene is very insecure, dependent, angsty, confused, and just kind of acts like a baby. I mean, he's so dependent on Finney to find who he is and, you know, just who he is as a person. He's incredibly dependent on Finney, and it's really interesting throughout the book just to see him gravitating just towards Finney and nobody else to find who he is as a person. And then, you know, his insecurities come in, of course. He puts on Finney's shirt, tries to be Finney, and so on. All right, now onto the 2 quotes. So the first quote will be for outer Gene. That is on page 17, just about halfway through. "Come on," drawled Finney from below. "Stop standing there showing off." I recognized with automatic tenseness that the view was very impressive from here. "When they torpedo the troop ship," he shouted, "you can't stand around admiring the view. Jump." What was I doing here anyways? Why did I let Finney talk me into stupid things like this? Was he getting some kind of hold over me? With the sensation that I was throwing my life away, I jumped into space. Some tips of branches snapped past me, and then I crashed into the water. My legs hit the soft mud of the bottom, and immediately I was on the surface being congratulated. I felt fine. The second quote is on page 46, and it says, "The beach was hours away by bicycle, forbidden, completely out of all bounds. Going there risked expulsion, destroying the studying I was going to do for an important test the next morning, blasted the reasonable amount of order I wanted to maintain in my life. And it also involved the kind of long-labored bicycle ride I hated." "All right," I said. Alright, so now for the quotes for energy, and this first one's on page 62, and it begins, "One evening when I was dressing for dinner, in this numbed frame of mind, an idea occurred to me. I decided to put on his clothes. But when I looked in the mirror, it was no remote aristocrat I had become, no character out of daydreams. I was Phineas to life." So this just shows how Gene needs Finney to be who he is. Not, you know, he just needs Finney for his character. He's not very original in his character. He absolutely and totally depends on Finney for who he is in life and how he acts and what he does. This just ties into the word that I picked, dependent and insecure. He absolutely needs Finney for who he is and what he does. So the second quote for energy is on page 75, and it starts, "I didn't go in. In any case, I was late for my afternoon appointment. I never used to be late, but today I was, later even than I had to be." So this is after Finney broke his leg, and this is kind of when Gene started to see that he was lonely without Finney, and that it all just draws back to Gene being completely and totally dependent on Finney, again, for his character, how he acts, the way he interacts with other people, who he is. But he takes it so far as to even just try and be Finney. So he has no character to begin with. He's unoriginal in that sense. He needs to be Finney for comfort. This comes in the insecure part, the dependent part, and the confused part of the 5 words that I picked. And the kind of acts like a baby, I guess what you would call a word. He does just act like a baby. He needs someone else to be who he is. He needs someone else to stay alive, and that person is Finney. No, that's fine. It's cool. I'm not recording a school project or anything. Alright, so now for the quotes just from famous people. These quotes, I couldn't find the original author. I just kind of looked it up on Google Images. Didn't give the, the person that said it. But the quotes that I picked for Outer Gene first was, "Life only comes around once, so do whatever makes you happy, and be with whoever makes you smile." I picked this for Outer Gene just because it kind of just shows his nonchalanceness and independency he has. He kind of, on the outside, he just kind of wants to be seen as this normal kid. He doesn't want to seem like he's insecure. He kind of hides that with his sarcasticness. But this one kind of fits him just because he says, be with whoever makes you smile, and that person is Finney. And it just fits his character kind of perfectly. The second quote is, "Don't allow someone to make you feel like you're not good enough." This kind of just goes along with his independentness and his character, the way he acts. He just, again, nonchalant, just like, oh, I don't really care. It just ties along with his nonchalanceness, just kind of his easygoing character that he wants to be perceived as on his outside. So for Inner Gene, these quotes are much shorter and just kind of concise. The first one is, "I'm lost." Totally straight to the point. He is lost character-wise. For his ability to be himself, he's completely lost. He's not himself when he's with Finney. He tries to be Finney so much. He's completely lost in his character. The second quote is, "Unhappy people are dangerous." This is shown throughout the story, actually. The first instance is when he makes Finney fall out of the tree. He's so unhappy with himself, and he admires Finney so much and sees him as this godlike character that he's like, okay, I'm gonna make him imperfect now, and pushes him out of the tree to make him unable to play sports and make him this imperfect human being. Another instance of this is actually when his broken leg kills him, or a broken heart, whatever you want to call it, when he actually dies. That's due to Gene's unhappiness and his wantness to be like Finney or to be greater than Finney, and his unhappiness brought him to eventually killing Finney via broken heart, broken leg, whatever you believe in. The 5 images I do not have at the moment. I thought I would kind of do that when I'm editing, so I'll put them right here. And now the last part, just kind of their band songs that they would like, hobbies part. I guess for Outer Gene, he would just kind of act like I guess not the popular kid, but the kind of happy-go-lucky kid. Again, just like what you would call a normal kid, the standard kid in today's society. He likes all the popular music. If you literally go to Spotify's America's Top 50 playlist, that's probably most of the music that he would be listening to, maybe more indie. More indie type of music, like of Monsters and Men, the Lumineers, stuff like that. Again, just kind of what everybody's listening to. Maybe some hobbies he would have, definitely sports. Throughout the book, he says he really likes sports, and he shows that he really likes sports with Finney, playing blitzball and whatnot. So definitely sports would be some of his hobbies. Maybe reading a little bit. He's kind of a normal kid. I guess I kind of see him as a studious, sports-minded person. So maybe he likes reading. He likes kind of just exploring educational activities outside of school, like sports. Just your standard kid. I can't really see him in any other way. He's just your standard kid if he was here nowadays, if he was born in 2000, 2001, 2002, whatnot. But for Inner Gene, I kind of see him as this, almost like a teenager going through his emo phase, or kind of like me. Just kind of not typical. No, yeah, just a teenager going through his emo phase, but not like the, death metal kind of emo phase. More just like his insecure phase. The insecure phase. He just kind of doesn't know who he is. He's kind of lost, kind of searching for himself. He doesn't like himself. He is completely unhappy with the person that he is. I kind of feel like that's the type of person he would be nowadays. Some bands that he would listen to, like more alternative music. I don't know. I kind of see it like maybe he'd listen to my kind of music, where I'm just kind of diverse in all sorts of music. Like I listen to this band called Modern Baseball, Beartooth, which is like this totally hardcore band. I listen to old punk music like Descendants. I like Gorilla Biscuits. I like jazzy kind of music. I listen to Rex Orange County and Tyler the Creator. So like I feel like he just listened to a bunch of alternative music, but it also kind of ties into the popular music. I don't know. I guess overall I see Outer Gene as this standard kid, you know, the standard 1950s schoolboy that likes sports and is very intelligent in school, likes education, just your standard kid, not abnormal at all. But Energene, I totally see him as like an emo kid, but not like the emo kid that's, you know, dresses in all black, likes My Chemical Romance, Of Mice and Men, Bring Me the Horizon, stuff like that. Just insecure with himself and doesn't know who he is as a person. Confused, as I put in the 5 words. Dependent, insecure, angsty. Just acts like a baby. He needs someone else to be who he is. I just totally see him as like an emo kid, just totally insecure with who he is as a person and as his character. So that's all I got. I might add more stuff in when I'm editing. I might just completely cut this part out. But that's all I have. So yeah, that's kind of all I have. Outer Gene is just standard normal kid. Inner Gene, insecure, doesn't like himself, needs other people to be who he is. And yeah, that's all I have.